What's up? Welcome back to Real Res Talk. My name is Sam and joined by Nick. We're here with a transfer news show on a Tuesday night. We're talking Jared Branthwaite, we're talking Joshua Zirkzee and Michael Carrick. Nick, I know you've been busy this week. Quick, how are we feeling? Knackered, tired? Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, busy. I think it's probably the correct adjective. Is it adjective? Is that the right? Yeah, it's probably the correct term to use. Been mad busy this week, and it's only going to get busier. Yeah, going through it as we get through it towards the end. So, but look, United don't stop for anyone, does it?
No,
So
no. But if you wondering why I'm hosting, this is why, because Nick's brain capacity is about this big right now. So we're just going to get his thoughts for a change instead of my rambling opinions. But yeah, we'll talk Jared Branthwaite. Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt from the Daily Mail sort of put an article out today, like United Confidential, I think it's called. And they touched on Jared Branthwaite. So I'll just read that out and then we'll sort of get into some questions. Manchester United have held in talks in recent weeks about the feasibility of making a January move for Jared Branthwaite. Ruben Amorim will operate with a more restrictive transfer budget. Jared Branthwaite has plenty of admirers on United's football board. The degree of urgency around this situation, given the level of interest from the rival teams. Jared Branthwaite continues to be seen as a high potential player for United, who will be a key future piece of the puzzle alongside Lenny Yoro in a back three. Following the well-documented interest for Man United in the summer, Branthwaite has since refused to sign a new contract at Everton. That first point I just want to touch on because that seems a bit sort of unfeasible to me. A January move. There's no way we're moving in January for him, is there?
no. I think they probably did it just to get the Jared in January, just to get that kind of line out there. No chance. Have you seen the stuff that's been reported out recently that they're so stretched, and Amorim's gonna have to get the best out of the squad that he's currently got at the minute? And you heard very similar reports under Eric Ten Hag. So to go and pay minimum, I'm talking bare minimum, 60 million quid in January is not fucking happening. There's no way, unless you do a deal where it's like, which this also would categorically wouldn't happen. We'll sign him now, but pay in 6 months. Basically, I just halfway through a season when they're fighting relegation. Can you see that?
No, and I think as well, if like priority position's got to be a wing back in it. So if you're dropping 60 million, it's not going to be on a centre back when we've got 5 centre backs. Like why would you drop 60 million on a centre back when we need a wing back, a left wing back? Like if you're going to drop 60 million, surely that's where the money's going to go, isn't it?
Yeah. And when was the last time United spent that amount of money in January? Is it Bruno? Maybe.
Yeah, what was that, 45 at the time?
Who, for Bruno?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They always mix it up with fucking rupees and euros and just all that shit, don't they? I think that's the last time we spent, and that was because we fucked it up in the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, because couldn't get it over the line, and the season was going to shit, and we were like, oh fuck, we need to do something.
We need to do something. So, and Ineos don't strike me as the type of people to panic and rush. So, I think there's so many things you could put up against that argument or article, whoever's put it out.
Yeah, as Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt. But the other part I wanted to touch on was he continues to be seen as a high potential player. I know you're a big fan of his, and it could be a key future piece of the puzzle alongside Lenny Yoro in a back three. What does that back three look like? Say Branthwaite comes in, you got Yoro. Who's the other one? Like, how are you setting up there?
I think his central centre back's going to be Delit. For a couple of reasons. One, because I think leadership in that role is going to be very important. And I think Matthias de Ligt, one of his best assets, or one of the feathers in his cap, is the fact that he is a really good vocal leader, and he wants to be that guy in the back line. He's comfortable on both feet, so if you need to go over to the left channel, over to the right channel, you can do that, no problem. He's physical enough centrally to deal with any, let's say a target man or any kind of threats like that. And he's young enough to then grow into that role even more. The only thing I'll say with him, and I don't know if he was going to come back at me with it, in a back three, sometimes he's done really well, but sometimes he's struggled a little bit. So for whether it's been for the Netherlands, and I think at one point under Juventus as well.
Under Juve, he played the right centre back though. He didn't play the central one. That was Bonucci. So
so there's different demands then, isn't there?
Yeah. That would be the risk there, wouldn't it? So he's not played the central defender. So that would be the
The
risk
central
there.
is more positionally you kind of covered because you're going to have Casemiro, Ugarte, let's say for example, in front of you. You've got two centre backs either side here. It's more, I would imagine, about organisation and knowing positionally, just literally everything in front of you. Whereas the right centre backs and the left centre backs more channel defending. You're dealing 1v1s, dealing with transitions.
They've got to be able to take the ball out and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
really progress it and good, which is Delict's not bad at that. But yeah, I'm not sure. It's one of those, isn't it? With a lot of the players that we've currently got, some of them have never ever played this system, so we won't know until we see a minute, I suppose.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be interesting. But I don't see this happening in January like at all. It just seems such a
1 out of 10.
Seems such a weird line to drop into an article saying they're looking at feasibility in January when
no chance.
I think Ornstein was on Sky Sports saying we're really close to PSR sort of like break deadlines and stuff like that. So dropping 60 million just doesn't make sense. I know you're a massive fan of him. Would he be your number one? Say in the summer he wants to get another centre back. Would he be your number one target?
Well, you could discuss the centre backs that are available at the minute. To my knowledge, I don't think the market's absolutely, running wild, is it necessarily with centre backs? So, out of the ones that could be potentially available and go and get, I think he's one of the best ones. I know the people hate using the fucking Prem proven kind of thing. Am I lagging on yours, by the way? Because you're lagging heavily on mine.
No, you look fine on my end.
I'm fine on your end.
Yeah.
You're lagging loads. I don't know why, but anyway, I'll continue. I think he is for everything you want in a modern day centre back, especially with this new system now, left-sided. How good he is over in that area anyway for Everton if the wing backs push on. He's so comfortable. He's quick. He's very, very strong. People criticize him a little bit on the ball that maybe you're not seeing it enough, but when you're playing for Everton under Sean Dyche, you won't see that as much expression, I don't feel. And maybe that is something he could develop or improve on even more when it comes to Manchester United. For the future as well, it's a great signing. I know they might be asking for 50, 60 million quid, but what's that going to look like 4 or 5 years down the line? If he's successful at the club, you're going to make your money back anyway.
Yeah.
So having Euro there and having Branthwaite there, who are both, let's say, between the ages of 19, 21, 22, that's your future sorted there. Delit's only 24 as well. People forget that, don't they?
Yeah.
24 years old.
Yeah, he's still young, even though he feels like he's been around for about
it's mad.
years or something, which is insane. But last sort of bit on this, if he comes in, does that mean Lissandro becomes a rotation option rather than a starter?
Well, I think we discussed it already, didn't we? We were saying, I don't know if you agreed with me or not, I can't remember, but I would have Shaw there personally over Lissandro. And the reason why I would have him over there is because of the physical side of the game.
Is he going to be fit?
I'm just saying about that's obviously something, but the reason why I use that is so I can say, like with Branthwaite, it's a similar kind of thing because I know Lissandro's very good on the ball and progressing through the lines. I don't feel like we've seen that as much though. I don't know if you feel the same, but I don't feel like we've seen that a lot. Initially, when he first came in, first year or so, I saw it a lot. Now it seems like he's very iffy. Do you know what I'm saying? He doesn't seem as consistent and solid, and maybe that's something to do with injuries. I don't know.
Mate, I think a lot of players sort of steps down this year under Ten Hag under that first couple of games. So hopefully under Amorim he gets a bit of lease of life. I saw a load of players posting about top training session, great session. In Amorim's first thing, I think Rashford did, and Casemiro and all that sort of stuff. And you didn't see that at all under Ten Hag, did you? Like, amazing sessions. So maybe there is something there. Obviously, did you cover the training thing this morning, this afternoon?
Yeah.
So you go watch that if you want like a breakdown of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is let's go into the chat. Let's see who's in the chat. Gamer TV, big up lads, big up to you. Lumen, big up to you as well, mate. Macmillan's in the chat. Carrick, one of the midfielders coming in. The man was a Rolls Royce. He's going to win a Ballon d'Or next season. Oh, I wish we had Carrick right now. I really, really do.
Just on that, Sam.
Yeah.
Who do you think will be in the middle of the park?
For Ipswich?
No. Let's say Ipswich. Who do you think? Because obviously we've seen Casemiro, aren't we, and Ugarte be the regular partnership. Mainu's back in training.
He was coaching Mainu quite closely, wasn't he, in training? Like, he was positioning him and doing stuff like that. How fit is Mainu? I don't know, because obviously he's back in team training. He's been out for a couple of weeks. So does he risk him in the first game? I don't think so. I think it'll be Casemiro and Ugarte. Casemiro's had some time off because he didn't go with Brazil. So I think Casemiro and Ugarte will probably start, but you probably might see him maybe come on and get some minutes maybe, just to sort of get things back in legs. So I think it'll be Casemiro, Ugarte, and then Bruno and Ahmad behind the striker. I think that's what it'll be. I think that's what you'll see. But I saw, didn't we see, is Ahmad doing wing back or something in training today?
No, it's from Anthony.
It's Anthony.
He was at wing back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, who knows? Like that, it's an interesting question. Obviously, we can cover that in the preview when we do that. There was one last thing in the comments. McMillan Muppeteer seems rather convinced we may be getting Branthwaite in January. I'll have to check that out. I can't see that happening, but I'll check. James,
I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
No.
We will not sign Jared Branthwaite in January. There's not a fucking chance. They're
yeah.
not desperate.
No.
For it.
No.
So
they're getting new owners and investment as well, so I think that'll probably sort of tip the scale a little bit. But anyway, moving on. Joshua Zirkzee. It was reported by, I think, Daniel Longo from Calcio Mercato, which is like an Italian publication. I don't know the reputability of it, but it's just all. There's rumours before about him going to Juve, rejoining with Thiago Motta. They have come out today saying Joshua Zirkzee is very disappointed with his start to life at Manchester United. The club hope Ruben Amorim's arrival can get the best out of him. Where does Joshua Zirkzee fit in a Ruben Amorim team, Nick? Where does he fit
in? I have to say, I can only use information based off what I've seen at Sporting in terms of what he'd done with Gyökeres. And Zirkzee isn't that kind of player, so you would have to probably say one of the outside tens. But when I look at Trincao and Goncalves, how quick they are, the way they carry a ball, I don't know. I don't know. And just what I hate about this, my mate said to me at the very start, one of the first games he watched, Zirkzee, he was like, no, shit, never going to work out. And we always have like long debates on footballers and stuff all the time. And I feel like saying he might be right, because the more I watch him, I know he needs time. I know we need to give him a chance. And I'm not going to be that guy who says it straight off the bat. But one thing I will definitely say is about Zirkzee, I'm definitely worried about him. Because, again, in this system, it's like, do you see him fitting in? I don't know.
I struggle to think. I really do. I struggle to think. He's not had the greatest starts, has he? Like, he scored on his debut, and since then, I've seen touches, I've seen movements that are like, but apart from that, it's not been great. I think we have greatly misprofiled him, like in terms of like what we wanted from a striker. I think we've greatly misprofiled him. Maybe it was a Ten Hag push. Maybe Ten Hag was the one who was pushing for it. I don't know. But I've just seen Netherlands are playing Bosnia this evening, and they've released the team lineup, and he's playing in the 10 Zirkzee tonight behind the striker of Brian Brobby. So you might be right there with the 2 10s positions. Maybe he's an option for there. We've seen Rashford being mentioned as another number 9, because obviously if you remove Zirkzee from that number 9 position, that means you need another striker. Rashford doesn't really work in those 2 10 positions, so maybe he does become the number 9 and Zirkzee drops into the 10.
I look at that striker role, and I think you need someone with a bit of height and a bit physical, like your Haalands, Osmans, Gyökeres, those kind of guys. That's who I see fitting in that system. Zirkzee to be dropping in that area, which he's comfortable with, I just don't see it. I always reference what H said on Twitter, who's a really good analyst who works for the Overlap. And he said his initial concerns were the exact same. He was saying he's a brilliant footballer, technically, one of the best in Serie A, and loads of people are raving about him. But he doesn't know if he'd suit the pace of the Premier League and if he'd look a little bit slow. And he does look like that. And it's not something you can't really improve on pace, can you? You're as quick as you are. And it's kind of as simple as that, unfortunately.
His touch at times has looked quite bad as well. Like,
it's not really good at times though, and then really bad.
It's been weird. It's been up and down, and I'm just like, I don't know. I really don't know, like what's going on there.
I hope it works out for him.
Yeah, I think it's too early to sort of write him off at this point. It's been 10 games. He's not really. He started a couple, but obviously we've had a tumultuous sort of time with Ten Hag and the start and etc. So I think I think he gets this season. I don't see him leaving in January. But if he continues on the rest of the season, I think Ineos might be a bit cutthroat. Just be like, let's let him go. They got rid of Sancho. I can see Anthony, unless he becomes a revelation at wing back. I can see him gone as well. So I think you'll see a couple like leave this summer.
It's not a major loss though, is it? Like,
No.
I know he was 30 odd million quid, but you could probably get 20 odd million for him now. So, you know, if he needs be after 1 year, if he's just still not fitting in and still looks a little bit slow, you know, I'm sure clubs in Italy be interested in him.
Yeah, well, Juve have been rumoured. I think I've seen Milan being talked about as well. So, yeah, we'll find. You'll definitely find a suitor for him or a buyer, I'd imagine. But I hope it works out for him. Moving on. Michael Carrick spoken about Ruben Amorim, obviously former Manchester United midfielder, former interim manager. I believe he had the record as interim manager up until Ruud van Nistelrooy, didn't he? Is the best record. I think Ruud beat him. So yeah, he's spoken on Ruben Amorim. There's a couple of quotes. He said, it's obviously a big challenge, you know, incredible football club, obviously huge, big expectation. It's where you want to be in terms of testing yourself against the best. And he's there. I hope he does well. I'm obviously a United supporter. My family are. We love the club. So I really hope it works out. There's good players there, good people in the club. And hopefully he goes there and settles in really quickly. What are your thoughts on that? Like, is that just a sort of standard answer there from Carrick? Or do you think he's sort of like setting himself up in the future with good relations for United and maybe wants to position himself as a future United manager?
Yeah, with managers and coaches, networking is always a thing in any role, really, in that kind of space. I think networking is really, really important, and keeping that clean kind of reputation. Because sometimes you ask when a manager leaves a club or a coach leaves a club, they're like, why has he not got, like Ten Hag now, for example, why has he not slagged them off? But why does he not give his side of it? Or why does he not put that out there? And I know there are NDAs involved and stuff as well. But it's about having that reputation. And obviously, he's always had a fantastic connection with Manchester United because of what he's done as a player. Whether he would be even considered now, probably not. I know McKenna was another name on it that was kind of floating about, but I feel like those coaches they need to step up first. But you can't jump the full ladder, climb your ladder and then get to the top. And both of them very, very capable coaches. You know, I think Carrick's done a great job over at Middlesbrough. McKenna likewise with Ipswich, back-to-back promotions. But give me that middle job first, and then we can start talking about potentially Michael Carrick, if Ruben Amorim hasn't already won 5 Premier League titles in the Champions League by then.
We've got a lot of former players who want to be Manchester United manager. Ruud wants to be it. Carrick wants to be it. I mean, if it don't work out with Amorim, we've got a couple ready to go, haven't we? Where we can be like, yeah, get that guy in. Or McKenna, like
I like Carrick as well. Is the way he is as a person, the way he conducts himself, I think it's very important. You have to have a certain type of character, and it's one of the reasons why he played at Man United. Just the way he is as a person and character and a leader, like you said.
I remember people getting really sort of disappointed when we signed him. It's like, why are we signing this guy? He's boring, blah, blah, blah. And he never got his flowers, especially with England as well. Like, he was never really sort of selected for England. And I think he's severely underrated. His passing range, the way he could dictate a game and things like that. I thought he was fantastic. But yeah, severely underrated player. I think he'll go down as one of those players where you don't appreciate him till they've retired and then you go back and watch games. I think he's one of those guys. Going into the comments, Macmillan, AJ Analytics did a fantastic video on YouTube about how the different 210s are in Amorim's teams. Sporting left 10 goes up top with the striker and the right 10 drops into midfield. I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Macmillan. Think Zirkzee suits that right 10 position that drops into midfield. Maybe. Absolutely. Maybe. Super Arch, what is this obsession with Branthwaite, who is excessively injury prone and only played 4 games so far? He played
injury prone.
He played full season last year, didn't he?
He's had 2 groin injuries. That's it. How's the injury? Is that injury? If he's injury prone, I'd love to know what Mount, Shaw, and then these guys are. Jesus Christ. He's not injury prone. That's bollocks.
I disagree with that. But yeah, last sort of story I wanted to cover. And I don't know how they possibly came to this conclusion, but I thought it was interesting anyway. Following his initial, this is from United District. Following his initial evaluation in Manchester United squad, Ruben Amorim feels he needs new midfielders in this summer. He believes he needs a new DM and another one who can operate in the 2-10 positions in his 3-4-3 formation. He's had 1 training session. I don't know how the fuck they've come to this conclusion or where they've got this report from. Well, let's just say it's true. Let's just say. Do you think we need to upgrade that area? Do you think that's one of the areas that needs upgrading? Do we need another DM? Do we need a specialized 10 who could play next to Bruno or next to Ahmad? Is that positions that need sort of addressing, in your opinion?
I don't know. I don't. Looking at the players, I don't think so. I mean, sure, you can always upgrade on an area if certain players become available. I mean, if Chumini becomes available tomorrow, I'd probably go and get him. But realistically, right now, Casemiro, in the past couple of weeks, I've actually really liked. I thought he's looked well better. After the Liverpool game, I had mentally wrote him off and just said, this guy's completely done, man. You had people saying leave football before it leaves you and all this kind of stuff. He looks happy. He's playing very, very well again. He's a leader. Ugarte, as we all know, has played his best football under Amorim as well, like statistically, and played the most games under him as well.
Had his best game recently for United as well. Played extremely well.
It was unbelievable in that game. And then you got Kobe, like the young prodigy, who's obviously a phenomenal player and will have a big say in this. I think you could probably have Bruno Mount drop in there and do a job. Yeah. So, don't know. Again, it's not an area like centre back where I'm absolutely desperate for someone to come in there. I think we both agree the wing backs, a striker.
Yep.
To be honest, and maybe someone more specific ones for those inside 10 roles. They're the priority for me, at least. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I think left wing back, especially, because I think you've got two wing backs in Mazraoui and Dalot who can take that right position. I think they're good enough for now. I think maybe you can upgrade on Dalot because I think he can switch off at times. So maybe there's a conversation there. But for now, I think that's fine. But left wing back, obviously, Malacia, I think, is part of the under-21s who are playing tonight. Yeah. So he's going to get more minutes. He's back in training, so hopefully he's not far away. Shaw is back in training. I saw the sort of videos and stuff like that. So how far away he is, I don't know. Can he stay fit? That's the big question.
But he was being used as a left-sided centre back in the training thing.
Yeah.
You had Yoro as the right centre, and you had Malacia and Anthony as the wing backs. So maybe whether that's down to profile because you haven't got certain players available for international break and stuff, I'm not sure, but I don't know.
If he can get Shaw fit, that's the flexibility though, isn't it? Like he could probably play that left wing back position because he does like to get forward, he does like to get down that wing and put balls into the box and stuff like that, and he is quite good defensively when he has to get back. So he can play that position. But I do agree, like was it him and Lindelof at the back during that period when Lissandro was out and Varane was out during the sort of run. Was it 10 Hag's
first? He played a fullback, you're on about?
He was left centre back when he was left centre back. Was it his 10 Hag's first season?
So Shaw played there against Manchester City against Haaland.
Yeah,
in the back four.
But he played a few games there, didn't he, with Lindelof, the left centre back?
Yeah, because he covered for Lissandro, didn't he? Lissandro was out. We had Barcelona in that period. We had there was a couple where he played.
He was really good. He was really good in that period, like really, really good. So it could be, like I said, flexibility. And I think if you can get him fit, I think if you've got depth in those areas, it means he doesn't have to play as much. Because you remember when he was getting injured consistently, he was the only option on that quality option on that left side. Because without him, Rashford didn't work, and we didn't have Malacia. Fucking Amrabat was playing there. Johnny Evans was playing there. Like Lindelof was playing there. So it was all this sort of stuff. But I think if you can rotate him into that left centre back or rotate him into that wing back, he doesn't have to play every game. Maybe keep him fit long enough for him to have an impact on the team. Maybe. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. Macmillan, Casemiro is old now. Reckon we do need another DM, even though he's been good. Another 10 could be an option. We only have 3 in Bruno, Mason, and Ahmad. Amorim wants 2 players per position. I mean, Eriksen could play that 10, but apparently he's leaving in the summer, isn't he? He's not signing a new deal. I think he would be good in that inside 10 position.
I don't know, because the physical demands from it in terms of pace and 1v1, I don't know if he'd necessarily suit that myself. But the one, I mean, I think Macmillan referenced it before, the one who dropped into midfield, maybe could do more of that role on the right-hand side. The age thing, I don't really subscribe to, because you still got players like Luka Modric, for example, who's still heavily influencing the Real Madrid team. Maybe not as much as last season or the season before, but I think if, like Chivy said many, many times before, and it's starting to come to fruition. Casemiro's going to have a lot more protection in this system than he did under Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah.
So I think you've still got a couple of years in him. And look, football opinion changes. People can click me up after Liverpool game saying when he's completely done. The reality is, football opinion changes. It's just I think he can do a job in this team, and that's why I'm saying I'm not necessarily desperate and craving a midfielder right now. Maybe we can address it in the summer, but it's not a priority for me this season. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Apologies for Nick's connection. I don't know what's going on with Discord. Like, there's pixelated and your voice is a bit thing, but I think we understood most of the stuff that he said. But yeah, apologies for that Discord thing. Anything else you wanted to talk about, Nick, before we sort of head off? Nice and quick little show tonight.
No, like I said, I covered. If people can hear me, I covered the majority of things this afternoon in the training session. Of course, we've got. I mean, what day are we on? Tuesday at the minute, so we've got the Ipswich preview, which we'll be doing on Thursday, which I'm really excited to get into. And I think probably we're going to do Premier League predictions. Will be recorded on Thursday night as well. But I think for Wednesday tomorrow, or even potentially Friday, because it is like the end of the international break, potentially we could do some interactive stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we were doing like test the team and these kind of things because people enjoyed them. So we'll bring some of that stuff back if people want it. But
absolutely. Follow all the socials. They're all linked in the description. TikTok, X, Instagram, we're on Blue Sky as well. So please do go follow all that. They're all in the description for the latest news updates, the latest sort of videos, clips, all that sort of stuff. Go follow all of that. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure Nick will be back in the afternoon. If not, me and somebody else, or me and Nick in the evening.
Yeah.
Please do subscribe. I think we are, what are we on? 7987. So we are 13 away from 8,000 subscribers. So if you are new here, please do subscribe. Get us to 8,000. That would be fantastic before the end of the year. If we can hit sort of close, there goes my light. That's quite good.
Simon.
If we can hit 10K before the end of the year, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see that. That'd be really good. But yeah, appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody's tuning in. And if you're watching later, leave a comment, give us your questions, whatever. And we'll see you tomorrow.